So what a start to the week we have already had. There are several different storylines we need to address, but first, we have to start in Norman because the Oklahoma Sooners had a phenomenal Monday, in which case they were able to land a prospect in the class of 2023, Caleb Spencer, but also double down and continue their success in the transfer portal, adding in Davis Beville. Today, we need to break down both of these moves, why Oklahoma fans are so excited, and what it all means. Before we do, as always, y'all know the drill. I need to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, why for yes, in for no. Are you excited that Oklahoma adds in both of these additions, and let me know what you're thinking. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. But having said all that, let's jump right into this, and we're going to start with Caleb Spencer, the addition in the class of 2023. And this is one that I find really interesting. Caleb Spencer hails from Virginia, and he's a three-star prospect, but he stands 6'3", 200 pounds. And when you turn on the film, that's when your eyebrows raise, because this is an individual that has got a high ceiling, and on top of that, he is a ferocious tackler. He is going to make his presence felt. But whenever you're really looking and watching his film, you see he's got a high ceiling, but the other factor that when you combine it with a high ceiling, I find so interesting is he's got versatility. You look at him, you watch him play, and you know this is someone who you could move around the football field at the next level, especially with the size he possesses. He's only going to continue getting bigger, and especially when you put him in a collegiate strength and conditioning room, this is someone you could have at a hybrid linebacker safety position. And when you look at who the head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners is now in Brent Venables, and you go back and look at some of Clemson's defenses, that's a role he's utilized before, and he's utilized it with a ton of success. So this is an individual in Brent Venables that already has a blueprint for how he can utilize players such as this. And so because of that, I find this a really intriguing addition. I find this a really nice addition, and I'm sure Oklahoma fans are going to be very excited about it. But now we need to talk about the other addition Oklahoma got via the transfer portal in Davis Beville, the quarterback transfer from Pitt. And this is an area where Oklahoma fans were hoping they'd be able to go into the transfer portal and add something because they wanted more quarterback depth. Look, one thing we need to understand is I think that Dillon Gabriel is in for a really nice season. I think the familiarity he has with Jeff Lebby plus all the new weapons that he now has at his disposal at OU are going to combine for him to be very successful this upcoming season. But one thing we also need to understand is Jeff Lebby utilizes his quarterbacks and utilizes their legs. Dillon Gabriel is going to be active in that part of the game, and he is going to be affecting defenses through the run. But when you have a quarterback like that, that's all well and good, but you better have a backup plan. And now Oklahoma can look at their situation, adding in Beville, with Nick Evers, with Bowens, with Rucker, and now their quarterback room, they can breathe a little bit easier because there's another guy in there, and this time it's somebody that has got legitimate collegiate experience, albeit a little collegiate experience, not very much. He only played in some mop-up duty last year and then in the bowl game, but collegiate experience nonetheless. But for Davis Beville in particular, this is someone who's got unbelievable size, 6'6", and he's got a huge arm. So if he's able to continue developing, he could be an intriguing prospect down the line, and because of that, I think Oklahoma fans are very excited about this. They now get more depth at the quarterback room, somewhere where they were already wondering if they were going to be able to add in more depth. Now they get it in an individual that has got some collegiate experience, but also has got a lot of other intriguing factors that he brings to the table. On top of that, Oklahoma doubles down from that success and adds in a three-star safety who, when you turn on the film, you're going to be highly impressed. This kid is a headhunter. He is going to knock people on the ground, but he has got a ton of versatility, and I find that to be an incredibly intriguing factor. Firstly, when we understand who Brent Venables is, and we look at the defenses he fielded at Clemson, he had players in that mold, and they were very successful. And then on top of that, the college game is moving more and more to where you need these hybrid-type guys to be able to cover tight ends and running backs out the backfield. Oklahoma being able to go and get one of those hybrid safety linebacker types is inevitably only going to be a good thing for their defense, something I'm really intrigued to see. But what I'm more intrigued about is to hear from all of you. What are you thinking about these two additions? That's it. See ya.